Hello, and welcome to another exchange of education, or another show of Education Exchange, your favorite show on PATV. Tonight we are honored to be with a school from the east side, Hoover Elementary. We have some people from Hoover Elementary and here, and right now I'd like to have our host, Hani Elkadi, take over.
Thank you. It's nice to have you on camera once in a while.
I don't get here very often. I'm usually in the back somewhere.
We have Dennis Harrick, our principal of Hoover Elementary School. This is your first year.
My first year at Hoover in Iowa City.
And before we do anything, before you start even introducing your guests, I would like to welcome you as a fellow art teacher, former art teacher. So that's exciting to have an art teacher as a principal, you know. So now it's your turn to introduce your team.
Well, our students that I brought with us from Hoover today are Simon Weiss, Student Council Vice President.
Yes.
Okay. James Kriz, Student Council Representative.
Yeah.
And Mary Bounds, Student Council Representative. And I also have our parent, John Rutherford, with us tonight, father of Aaron Rutherford.
I saw in the introduction they said about you, Hoover's dad, you know, which is really, I think it's the most honorable title probably a parent can have.
I'm happy to carry it.
Before we go to the school, I would like to know from you, John, what kind of role do you have in the school?
Well, as a Hoover father, and really as our whole family, we just see ourselves as being a part of the Hoover community. And so if there are activities that the school is planning where they need volunteers or assistance, we try and step forward along with a whole host of other families that do the same thing. Just try and help keep things going or bring some extra energy.
So you work closely with teachers, as administrators?
Depending on the activity. I mean, my direct role to start off with has been being a part of the board of directors for the before and after school program. I've also had a role in our before and after school language program. And most recently I've helped with the garden project that Hoover has had.
And this language program that you are part of it, is it serving everyone or certain?
Yeah, it's for the whole school. It's a before school program, it's extracurricular. The families pay additional for it. And I believe at this point we have German, Spanish, and French.
3?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
And you have, of course, specialized teachers for this.
Yes. Yeah. It started with Hoover, I think, back when the Iowa City School District stopped having elementary language education. So it was in the 80s sometime. And just one parent after another has taken over a role of keeping it going. I'm no longer active in it myself, but I was for a period of time. And Sarah Eisenberg and Ann Rodriguez are the ones doing it now at Hoover.
Dennis, so your role as a principal is known to everyone. You are the administrator. But what makes you special?
I don't know if I'm very special or not.
Well, they said that you are special.
They said that I'm special.
Yeah.
Well, they're just doing that because they're on the spot. You know, one of the things that I think makes me special is my experience. I've had a wide range of experience throughout my educational career. Not only as an art educator in the middle school and mainly in the elementary. A lot of I spent many summers working in camps. I'm from Iowa originally, so I think that helped a little bit.
Where in Iowa?
Big town up north called Manly, north of Mason City. Grew up in Manly, Iowa, North Central Falcons at the time, and I think the Falcons are no longer there. I think they've merged, as a lot of the rural community schools have. But that's right. Are you a Falcon?
No, but one of my first jobs out of high school was based out of Manly, working on a railroad.
We were just talking about big railroad town.
Yep.
And again, my administrative experience, I spent a lot of my time after graduating from the University of Iowa in the Chicago area. My wife's from the Chicago area. I met her here in college. Raised a young man and a young woman out there, and they're doing very well. In fact, my son's an educator up in Linn-Mar School District. He's a junior high science teacher up there, Adam. And that's where I started my administrative career out there at a K-6 building, and then I spent several years, 6 years in Gurnee at a 3-5 building, 345 only. And then after my children were grown and moved out, my wife and I thought we'd try to avoid the winters that we're having right now, and spent the last 4 years. I was a principal in Mesa, Arizona, and my wife taught in Glendale. My wife is an ELL, an English language learner teacher, and it was good, especially this time of year. It was great. But you know, we missed our family and friends. I still have nieces and a brother that live here, and my wife's family's still in the Chicago area. So after about 4 years, we decided to look back here, and I was very fortunate to wind up in Iowa City in Hoover School. And Hoover is really a special place, and I'm really glad that they chose me to be there. And I'd like to think they chose me because of my experiences and my background.
Your predecessor is a close friend of mine, Mr. Mike O'Leary, and one of the very interesting things that he was talking about was the garden. What had happened to the garden? Are you involved with
Yeah,
this?
I have a role in the garden.
Really?
So one of our teachers, Rachel Laria, had proposed a couple of years ago that we have a garden. There was a move afoot within the district to do that. And she approached me and Jeremy Moen, and we worked together with Michael Leary, who then was our principal, and selected a site, turned the sod in preparation in the fall, brought in, I don't know if we brought in topsoil, but we did bring in some aged cow manure, or horse manure, and turned that, and Mike helped guide our planting and did a lot of the planting with the students. And my role, I think, this last year was principal waterer. I kept it alive during the summer when it was so dry, and it was a tremendous success. We opened it up to the school at our ice cream social in August, and invited all the kids in and families to pick and take produce home with them, and it was fantastic.
Simon, you ready?
I guess.
So look at the camera now and talk to our audience about what's special about Hoover School.
Well, I think Hoover is it's just it's a nice school. It's a older school. Like, you know, there's lots of friends. Everybody seems to be happy there. I just think that there's not many like bullying problems, stuff like that. And everybody gets chances at stuff, more than one chance, which I think is a nice. It's nice for a school to have be almost perfect.
I'm happy to hear that you don't have the bullying problem, because this is a real nightmare. It has been now part of the main interest of the Department of Education to try to combat that and try to overcome the consequences of bullying and harassment. So it's good that you don't have this. Do you have any conflict resolution groups or something like that?
We always have a guidance, which is kind of like, we learn about safety and anti-bullying and stuff like that, but I think it's a bit unneeded because there isn't much bullying.
Very
so it's not it's not the most important topic, I don't think, because it's really not needed, I think.
And James, what's your favorite subject in studies in the school?
Social studies, I think.
Social studies. And you are an active member of the student council, right?
Yes.
Are you planning, you are a fifth grader this year, right?
Yes.
Are you going to be next year, or it's 1 year only? What's the system?
Well, we do.
The membership.
They elect 4 people at the beginning of the year, and then 2 people serve for the first half and 2 people serve for the second half. And I've run all 3 years. I've been able to. Finally got on this year. Gonna do it next year too.
Oh, wonderful. So in the future, like at junior high level and senior high level, are you planning to continue leadership as a student council member?
Yeah.
You like to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So Mary, I see this beautiful colors I see Mr. Mike Peterson, one of the fathers of this show. He cannot even sit because he has to respect this artwork. What is this?
Well, in our school we have this thing called vertical families, where one teacher is like sort of the parent of the vertical family, and some of the kids come in and like work with them and do some kind of project every time we have it. So we got together on Martin Luther King Day and we made no-sew tie blankets for the kids at DVIP.
Mike, do you mind if we can stretch it a little bit so our audience would see the extent of the work? Because this is really, yeah. Oh, I see.
We don't want to cover up Mary.
Water.
Bye-bye, Mary.
Yeah. Maybe we can show
See,
it in
it's-
front
it's-
here, yeah. I can take it in front here.
It's got
Yeah.
two designs there.
Yeah, that's...
Oh.
Wow, this is really huge. How many people were involved in this process?
All the whole school was involved with it, and we made more than 25.
Wow.
We have 21 vertical families, and each vertical family has students from K through 6 in it. And so the staff decided that they wanted to do something that was
And a beautiful design, you know.
Yeah.
that the kids could participate in and then donate to a worthy cause. And
Yeah, it's a cold day. You can
Not a joke.
It's not bad on the camera anyway. It's fine. Dennis, what's your? Tell me about your dreams for Hoover next few years.
just, you know, the one thing I want everybody to realize is that we're going to be around for a while, and that we're going to just carry on like we normally would. I think there are some very positive things happening right now at Hoover School that we need to continue. The PBIS program, the student council, the vertical families. You know, what he said about making Hoover a peaceful environment, that's always been one of my biggest concerns. Is students can't learn if they don't feel safe when they come to school. You know, I'd like to say we don't have bullying, but I think we do a very good job at minimizing it and addressing it when it's brought to our attention, and working with the students and the parents that are involved. And I think it's been very successful. And we have some very good teachers. Mrs. Bender, who is our counselor, works with them, and so she has done an excellent job prior to my arriving for many years, helping create that peaceful environment, along with all the other teachers who work with her and work with the boys and girls.
I've always wondered what kind of collaboration between you and high school, the city high school.
Well, again, I'm new. I'm kind of learning the ropes, and to be involved in a district, a little smaller district. I've been in some very large districts prior to this, where you didn't have as much contact as you have the opportunities to have here. I've talked to John Bacon, and he's brought the principals in to City High. We've talked about areas that he can do better. We do have the City High volunteers, the student volunteers, come into our building, work with the students. We just finished a couple weeks ago. We had Hoover Night at the boys basketball game, so a lot of our students and parents showed up for Hoover Night. So we try to at this point, I think they do a pretty good job of involving the elementary schools that feed into Southeast Junior High, and then who feed into City High. So I'd like to obviously see that continue too, because it's kind of nice to have a high school so close and have that type of resource available to the school too.
Well, James Simon and Mary were very exciting about the 60th anniversary of
Yes,
Hoover.
it's
Tell
something
me about that.
It's something we wanted to know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize it till I got here. Obviously, you know, Hoover was built in 1954, opened in 1954, so we have our 60th anniversary coming up next school year, the 2014-2015 school year. It will be the 60th anniversary. We have one of the former principals, and unfortunately her name is eluding me, Margaret, no one remembers her name, and she was there for about 15 years.
Marilyn Wirtz.
Marilyn Wirtz, thank you very much. Marilyn Wirtz, good job. good save. Marilyn Wirtz, who's kind of organizing this with some retired Hoover teachers, and getting some of the current teachers involved. And and some of our current parents, and I haven't heard everything yet, but they've been getting together and planning. They're gonna come to one of our PTA meetings, and we're gonna have some pretty good celebrations. You know, one of the things we talked about was the homecoming parade next year, that City High homecoming parade where all the elementary schools get to parade. We're gonna obviously have a special float for that. We're talking about some special attire, some special ceremonies and activities that they'll do next year to celebrate that 60th.
In the last show with Hoover Elementary, Mike O'Leary brought this beautiful plaque that has the winners of the running for the school program. And he looked at it, you remember that, Mike, and he said, look, Hoover, Hoover. Every year it's Hoover.
Every year.
So are you planning to do the same this year to win it?
I hope so. I don't know how we did this year. I don't think we made it this year.
Oh, we haven't heard, have we?
I haven't heard yet. I don't know if Hoover made it or not. I haven't got the plaque. The plaque was in the office when I arrived, and somebody came to take it and engrave it after the last run, and I haven't seen the plaque back. I mean, I'm hoping that we got it, but if not, we'll have to work hard and get it back.
Yeah, he was so proud of this, and he kept it next to the chair that he was sitting in, and every now and then he would give me a hint to remind me that I have to mention that.
And we've got some good teachers, I think, and parents, I think, that really organize the student runners and get people involved in that. So.
Wonderful.
We'll keep it up.
Back to you, Mary. Now you are in the leadership position, and you are a young lady. You are a young lady, and I would like to see, are you thinking of continuing the leadership position as a young woman in the future or not?
I don't really know.
You don't know. So when you started being a member of the council, did people say, well, that's boy thing? No?
No.
Nobody mentioned something like that?
No, I think there's actually more girls than boys in student council.
That's very interesting. I have noticed in some of the junior high schools too, girls are more involved in student council activities than boys.
It seems,
yeah. Well, that's Mike, I want to ask you one question because you have been in this district for many years, and Hoover had its legacy in this. A lot of people who are my age say, I graduated at Hoover, and it's like, wow, this is a historic school. Being in the district all these years, Hoover had always been one of the top school in achievement.
Yeah, and actually I think a lot of attention came on Hoover too, just because it is in the backyard of City High. I mean, you know, they have, I think there's a close connection there. I mean, with people thinking of, when they think of City High, they also, well, Hoover's right there too. So.
And how about diversity issues?
The prestige.
Diversity.
The diversity. You know, it's not as diverse as some schools, but
Right.
we have our share of diversity, and you know, I think we celebrate it very well there. I think we're well represented. You know, I've been at
I see that because I think this was done, and that's probably the reason I asked this question. That was done for Martin Luther King's Day, right?
Yes.
Which is a celebration of multiculturalism and diversity.
Yes.
Which is something really very, very appreciable. Yeah. Now, as a parent, John, how many parents are involved in the activities?
Well, how many? Oh, I'd say we have a group of probably 40 or 50.
Wow.
Some perhaps more than others, but I think we draw on, we have classroom parents. We have a group that works with the ice cream social. We have a group that's working with tomorrow's arts night. It's an evening of arts and entertainment that's organized by the PTA and the parents.
So the community of parents is really devoted and involved.
And we have a wealth of talent, of parental talent, and student talent, and teacher talent, but there's a wealth of talent. And for a school the size, we're around 340 students. I've been at bigger schools that have had less parent involvement. So it was a pleasant surprise coming here with the number of parents and the PTA and all the various activities. Like I said, the family enrichment night, celebrating the arts and putting on activities for the students and the parents, and the PTA picnic or the ice cream social that they had at the beginning of the year. They do quite a bit of activities for the school and the community.
I would like to ask our stars here about the future, because we have about 3 minutes. 3 minutes or 2 minutes? About 3 minutes. Tell me, how do you see yourself, like 10, 15 years from now?
I don't really know.
You don't know.
Still
So
wide open.
you are really leaving it to the fate, huh? Whatever happens, happens. But soon you will be planning, huh?
Yeah.
Soon. Okay, James, what do you think? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I like to teach people stuff a lot, like facts and stuff. I like to be a role model, like our preschool buddy program with the student council. Some of the student council go to the preschool every Wednesday and they play with them for an hour. They read to them. That was really fun.
You like to help others,
Yeah.
especially those who are in need, huh?
Yeah.
Simon.
Well, I like giving people fun to do, like, fun stuff. Like last year we had a carnival, and like it was put on by the student council, a lot of help from the sponsors, and it was lots of fun, and I find that that's really fun stuff to do. So I feel that I might have a career in acting to make something like that, or I've always enjoyed like fish and stuff like that. So I either would like to pursue something like marine biology.
Wonderful. I think James mentioned something about Saturday Night Live at the beginning, right?
That's what he wants to be on.
It's a show I like.
He could be a marine biologist who's so funny that he's on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, sure.
A stand-up marine biologist comedian.
And this would be a good note to close.
Okay, well, thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. We'd like to thank our audience for tuning in. We'd also like to thank the cameraman, the people in the back,
Ricardo,
the cameraman, and John in the back. Usually I'm back there with him, but not tonight. And we'd like to thank you all for tuning in. This is shown on public access television, PATV. It's also shown on Channel 1. Or Channel 21, which is the
education channel.
The school district's channel. You check your local listings for that. And we're also on YouTube. They usually get up on YouTube before they even get on the regular television, so you can search for Education Exchange on YouTube and find them there also. And with that, again, we'd like to thank all of the people from Hoover that were here, and everybody that helps put on the show, as well as PATV for letting us do this here. And we hope you tune in again next week for another show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.